Hideaway is a gated, residential city located in the lush rolling hills of East Texas. Easily accessed by Interstate Highway 20, Hideaway is due west of the city of Lindale and 79 miles east of Dallas. This ideal location, combined with beautiful scenery, serene lakes, and exemplary golf, has made Hideaway a preferred destination since its inception in 1967. Long occupied by a variety of Native American cultures, the first recorded permanent residents of the area were Drury and Elizabeth Smith, who built a small homestead in the area that is now Forest Circle and Lake Cross Road. In 1854, Richard and Serena Hubbard, who had arrived by wagon from central Georgia, purchased the existing homestead and 480 acres of rolling land on Duck Creek, which was a tributary of the Neches River. Over the years, they expanded their holdings, remodeled the homestead extensively, and built a thriving business of fruit and berry farming, which in turn fed a lively canning industry in the nearby town of Lindale. Richard Sr. died in 1864 and is buried in the historic Hubbard Cemetery in the northwest corner of Hideaway. In the mid-1960s, something very different began for the area now known as Hideaway. Developer James Fair conceived a plan for a weekender resort, which would include much of the area of the Hubbard fruit and berry orchards. His initial design featured the creation of a recreational lake and a 9-hole golf course. After clearing the space for the lake, surveying a number of tracts for home sites, and constructing a simple office building at the front gate, the project was opened to the public on July 4, 1967. The response was very positive, and although visitors were very impressed with the property, the development still had a ways to go.
Well, there really wasn't much here. They were in the process of putting the dam across that creek. I bought a Lakeview property without a lake to view.
And the front gate was real little to get into, and it was dirt roads. When the salesman came up to show us where we wanted to be, there was nothing but a dirt road, and the man said, "This is where the golf course is going to be." And I told Otis, I said, "This will never work. This place will never make it." Is that a joke?
By early 1968, it became clear that interest was exceeding expectations and that the community was going to need more space. As the developers worked to meet these challenges, the lodge and swimming pool were completed, and permanent residents began to arrive. The new lifestyle was quite popular, and lasting memories were made from the very beginning.
My granddad was one of the first landowners out here, or house owners. What he'd let me do is go out and play. When I started about 4 or 5, he'd let me go out and play the 3 holes, and he'd come watch me. So one day when he was up on the porch, or veranda, porch I say from East Texas, he was up there, and the number 14 west now used to be number 5. It's about 100 yards from the back of the green to his yard. I took a driver, caught it just right, bounced it off the street, off the driveway, and broke the window. He stood up all happy. Grandma came out all upset.
As more and more people began to arrive, a unique and fulfilling social structure began to form. The Hideaway state of mind was beginning to emerge.
You didn't have that many people on the golf course. You could stop along the way and have a picnic and pick your stuff up after you're done and go finish the 9 holes.
By early 1969, more land had been added to the north side of the community, and a third lake, along with a second 9-hole golf course, were under construction. Although the lakes were a major attraction, golf was quickly gaining in popularity.
Oh yeah, I played with the 9-hole ladies. It would take us as long to play 9 holes as it would the 18 holes because we couldn't play. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were having fun.
As word of the development spread, the natural appeal of the community brought so many interested buyers that a 3-story guest lodge was built to accommodate those who wanted to stay overnight and tour the property more extensively.
And they would come from all over the country, from Colorado to Washington State, and relocate to Hideaway Lake. And these people not necessarily had family of any type. They just thought that it was the most unique place they've ever seen.
Hideaway was getting very popular. The city had an airstrip, a horse stable, and had grown to cover approximately 1,300 acres of land. Residents were loving the community and appreciating the security,
Security at Hideaway Lake, I can remember it going from one man at the guard when we finally had a patrol car. And they were quite helpful for the people that lived in Hideaway, because you must understand, if their battery went dead in their car, they didn't have somewhere to call. They would call security and they would send the one officer down there and they would help the people get their car started. When my mom became sick and she fell in her house and called us, the first person I called was security. And we rushed to Mom's house. Security beat us. Security was there to tell Jason, that was small, I'm gonna pick you up, put you in your grandmother's window in the kitchen and come around and open the front door. Security was a wonderful thing for Hideaway Lake.
Early on, the Hideaway Lake Club had been chartered as a non-profit corporation, and over time, all common facilities and infrastructure were conveyed over to the club in accordance with the developer's original plan. A strong and vibrant community was beginning to grow.
And then the pro shop was real little. I mean, tiny, tiny, tiny. There was a little grill down there, and you could take what you wanted. If you wanted a hamburger, but you cooked it. And then everybody bring their instruments to play, and it was like a hoedown with people playing. And you get on those cement slabs and people start dancing, and we just had a blast.
One thing that a lot of people don't know is that Fair built the country store. It was outside Hideaway property, but just right next to it. The same architecture as all the rest of the places. And that store was in operation at least 10 years before Brookshire's came to Glendale.
You know, a funny story about it, how long I have lived out here, I even got my first job here, was working for Al Freeberg. He owned the country store. I was bringing home $19 a week and could not spend it.
It really wasn't a lot of fun. I was open 13 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays, Christmas, and the whole works. And I think I got away 2 funerals and 1 deer hunt for a few days.
In the ensuing decades, the community continued to grow, with more and more residents choosing to make Hideaway their full-time home. Another major expansion was completed in 1994, which added more space for residential construction, a third 9-hole golf course, and more space for golf practice areas. In 2001, residents voted to incorporate as a city to protect their borders from future expansion of neighboring towns. Although still operated by the elected board of Hideaway Lake Club, the new city needed a mayor and alderman.
We incorporated as a Class B general law city, and so they had an election for who was going to be on the board of aldermen, and there was going to be 1 mayor and 5 aldermen. We had several people running for the 6 positions, but you didn't run for a position at that time. And what happened was the person with the highest number of votes became the mayor, and the next 5 highest number of votes became the 5 aldermen. I got the highest number of votes.
With full autonomy assured, development in Hideaway moved forward with confidence. In 2003, new club facilities were built, old ones were improved, and community involvement continued to play a major part in the character of Hideaway.
The Keep Hideaway Beautiful organization, which I was involved in then, that was our project, and it raised a lot of money, and we landscaped 7 or 8 public places. And then when the new clubhouse, the new administration building was built, I designed all the landscaping around that also. That was my younger days. I wouldn't do that now.
For 50 years, Hideaway has been a place that offers a lifestyle that is as unique as it is peaceful and secure. With more and more families calling Hideaway their home, the vitality of this community is assured. There is continuity here and tradition.
Billy, a good friend of mine, we started being good friends around 8 or 9. We used to build golf courses in his backyard. And he was the superintendent, which is kind of ironic, it's what he is now, and I'd play the pro, and we'd host tournaments. So he'd build the course, Like I was a pro, we had a blast, and 30 some odd years later, here we are together again. 40 years later, here we are again. I'm getting older by the minute.
Hideaway is a place with a rich history and a positive future. There are many great memories here, with more yet waiting to be made. Hideaway is a true oasis city. Life is good here.
It's like living in a community in 1952. I don't know why I said two, but it's that way because people care about you. If you get sick, then they bring you a casserole, and they say, "Well, just keep the bowl."
You're riding down the road, somebody's coming next to you, you wave. Everybody is expected to go ahead and just wave, hello. You can even do it to security, and they'll wave back.
The Hideaway Wave. Actually, my predecessor, Chella Roselle, was the editor and publisher of the newspaper for years and years. And she wrote many editorials on the Hideaway Wave. It's not this, it's just a friendly wave. Everyone is our neighbors. I mean, there's 3,000 people that live here. When I go by and see these people waving at me, I have no idea who they are. No idea. But I know at some point we'll probably cross paths. You can't go anywhere in Hideaway without building a friendship. Everyone that we meet here becomes a friend, one way or the other.
As the city of Hideaway celebrates its Golden Jubilee, we are able to look back and appreciate how hard work and good intentions have led the community through all the challenges presented thus far. Through 50 years of rich and sometimes colorful history, Hideaway has remained on course to become a remarkable and very desirable place to live.
Well, it's very peaceful. I think it's added a number of years to our lifespan, just being so peaceful down here.
Plus you get golf, and you have lakes, and you have swimming pools. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than what the club is doing.
Hideaway Lake, celebrating 50 years of resort living at its finest.